Good evening, members, and welcome to Castle Point Cabinet meeting on the 15th of October. Members, we're not expecting a fire drill this evening, so if the fire alarm does go off during the meeting, please leave immediately by the nearest emergency exit and gather outside Runnymede Hall. Members, before I ask members to introduce themselves, can I just make members aware that it's Baby Loss Awareness Week? And you may have noticed that our building is lit up at the appropriate colours, so our thoughts go with all those parents who have lost babies in over the last ones. It must be very, very sad. Members, Cabinet members, can you please introduce yourselves, starting on the right-hand side with Councillor Warren Gibson.
Thank you, Leader. Councillor Warren Gibson, Deputy Leader of the Council and Portfolio Holder for Devolution and LGR.
Thank you. Good evening. Councillor Steve Mountford, Cabinet Member for Resources.
Good evening all. Councillor Ross Savage, Cabinet Member for People and Community.
Good evening. Councillor Tim Copsey, Cabinet Member for Strategic Planning.
Thank you, Leader. Good evening all. Councillor Rob Lillis, Cabinet Member for Health, Wellbeing and Housing.
Evening all. Councillor Tom Gibson, Cabinet Member for Special Projects and Assets.
Good evening, everybody. Councillor Barry Palmer, Cabinet Member for Economic Growth and Climate.
Thank you, Leader. Councillor Michael Fuller, Cabinet Member for Environment.
Thank you, members. And as I can see, there's full presence, so I can see there's no apologies for absence. Members, item 2 are declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? No, members. Thanks very much. Agenda item 3, members. Minutes held on the 16th of September 2025. Is it agreed I sign the minutes as a true reflection of the meeting? Agreed. Thank you very much, members. Agenda item 5, Housing Improvement Programme Update. Councillor Lillis, can you please introduce your report?
Thank you, Leader. This report provides Cabinet with details of the current position relating to the Housing Improvement Programme. The report highlights the progress made since June 2025 against the core regulatory consumer standards and the critical work being progressed to achieve compliance with the Big Six compliance issues and damp and mould. Cabinet, you will recall that in November 2024, we approved the establishment of a Housing Improvement Programme and HIP Board in response to a C3 grading by the Regulator of Social Housing. In December 2024, the regulator downgraded the Council's housing services to C4 following an inspection in November 2024, and in response, Cabinet approved investment in additional resources into the service to ensure that it can deliver the changes required to meet the regulator's consumer standards at pace. At that time, the focus was on the priority deficiencies identified by the regulator around health and safety compliance, tenant engagement and policies. That has been the priority of the investment made into the service. This report follows the report to Cabinet on 18 June 2025, which detailed the significant progress made with the Housing Improvement Programme to that date. Following a gap analysis to assess the housing services compliance against the regulator's consumer standards, the HIP has been expanded to include a service improvement plan which will seek to rectify all known gaps in delivery across the entire housing service and create an estimated timeline for completion of those deliverables. This has included a temporary change to the housing services management team to create additional capacity so that the pace of and capacity for the improvements to date can be maintained, which includes the completion of the housing service review. In addition, decisions have been made on increasing the level of investment in the housing stock and to accelerate work on repairs and maintenance to ensure all standards are being met. The following work has been completed or is underway in respect of service improvement activity. Under repairs and maintenance, working with MCP Property Services using established evidence-based key performance indicators, data is demonstrating continued signs of improvement. Work in progress numbers continue to be managed and positive feedback on services received continues to emerge from tenants. Under tenant health and safety, compliance with the Big Six compliance areas, asbestos, electrical, fire, gas, lifts and water safety, continues to be delivered at pace, with the delivery of a programme of required inspections now fully embedded in service delivery. As at September 1st, 2025, I am very pleased to report that primary compliance with the Big Six areas is at 100%. Remedial actions identified from required inspections are being progressed at pace. Secondary compliance, which would be subsets to the Big Six, such as smoke detection, CO2 monitors, stair lifts and PAT testing, are in discovery phase, with remedial action being taken as soon as identified. New policies and procedures for asbestos, electrical, fire, gas, lifts and water safety have been approved through my Cabinet member authorisations and embedded into service delivery. Quality assurance and verification has also been embedded to ensure that the Council can be confident in the data reported. A policy and procedure for managing reports of damp and mould has been approved by myself as the Cabinet member and again embedded in service delivery, in this case since June 2025. The Council can be confident that the service is prepared for the introduction of AWAB's law, which I believe will be effective from the 27th of this month. Review of current warden call systems in sheltered accommodation schemes, including fire alarms and door entry systems, with cost impacts of replacements, is now complete. The necessary procurement phase is now underway. Subject to agreeing with the preferred supplier, it is anticipated that the installation of the new warden call system and upgraded fire alarm system will be complete before the end of this financial year. The full stock condition survey programme commenced in May 2025 to form the basis for the long-term planned and preventative maintenance programme. The programme is expected to be minorly delayed due to some access issues, with revised completion expected by the end of November 2025. It should be noted, by the end of this month, data received from the completed stock condition surveys will effectively enable the asset management plan and review of the HRA business plan to be completed accurately. To support the delivery of the housing technical services work relating to health and safety, a new and updated resident safety information leaflet, Appendix 1, has been created to support tenants and leaseholders to better understand health and safety issues relating to the Big Six compliance areas and damp and mould. And I would like to thank all of those involved in putting this important document together. Under other activity, the Housing Service Review involves a restructure of the service with employee consultation running from 11 September. And in a late change to the report, please note that the Housing Service Review has been extended to 17 October with a conclusion meeting scheduled for 20 October 2025. And I would like to extend Cabinet's thanks to all staff for engaging positively in this process. It is intended that the new structure will effectively deliver a housing service that is regulatory compliant, customer focused, data led and performance driven. The HIP board continues to meet monthly to monitor and challenge delivery of the programme, and my thanks to my fellow board members and those who contribute to those meetings. And for your information, our next meeting is scheduled for next week on the 21st of October. HQN continues to support the HIP board with its work plan and work associated with its critical friend role to challenge and support the HIP board in understanding wider best practices. The HIP board has also held discussions with TPAS, which is advising on how to establish far greater tenant involvement, which is now subject to the appropriate procurement process, and Acuity, which advises on and undertakes the tenant satisfaction measures, surveys and reporting. In another late change to the report before and an indication of the pace that the HIP is proceeding at, I'm delighted to inform you that a contract has now been signed for a full housing management system and that implementation is well underway. Phase 1 will focus on the rent accounting. Phase 2 will include the introduction of systems covering asset management, repairs and compliance. And needless to say, the new system will help to transform the housing service, so this is very good news indeed. Work continues in respect of other key elements of service improvement and compliance activity in the following areas. A, review of sheltered housing facilities relating to furniture provision in communal areas, decorations, floor coverings, white goods and laundry equipment is in progress and being delivered in consultation with tenants and wardens. B, the Council's Tenant Satisfaction Measures, or TSM, survey results for 24-25 were agreed and submitted to the regulator's online portal on 18 June 2025. Additional questions to support the delivery of the 2025 to 2026 TSM survey have been agreed by the HIP board, with the first wave of surveys commencing in September 2025 and concluding this month. It is still early days and we still have much to do, but I am pleased to report that the initial wave of surveys indicates an increase in tenant satisfaction levels. C, review of policies, procedures and strategies continues at pace, and reports seeking the necessary approvals will be presented either through the delegated authorisation process or through Cabinet as required. D, the Council has received a comprehensive tenant engagement framework from Tenant Engagement Experts, TPAS, following their re-engineering engagement project. The Council is seeking to procure support from TPAS or another suitable alternative via the Council's procurement process to support the initial stages of embedding the framework, with a particular focus on securing tenant representation on the HIP board. And the procurement process, I believe, concludes at midday on the 22nd of October 2025. And E, 3 editions of the Tenants newsletter have been distributed since February, with the latest edition delivered in early September. The 4th edition is forecast for November of this year. Cabinet, the focus of the HIP is now moving to the strategic phase of the improvement process, which specifically picks up and aligns the consumer standards with the Council's improvement plan and regulatory requirements. A meeting with the regulator has been completed and members will be updated in due course, including the HIP board, on the finally agreed strategic process to deliver full compliance with the consumer standards. There are no financial implications arising from this report, as no decision is being made. Members should, however, note that once the necessary stock condition data has been analysed and incorporated into a new asset management plan, which then informs the revised HRA business plan, it is expected that additional funding requirements will be necessary. The detail for this new funding and the budget impacts will be identified in the budget process reports. And finally, I take this opportunity to thank Chris Stratford, the Interim Director of Housing, for authoring this report and for the good work that he and his housing colleagues are carrying out. Thank you very much, Leader.
Thank you, Councillor Lillis. Are there any comments or questions, members? No? Thank you very much. Members, is that report noted? Thank you very much. Agenda item 6, Customer Relationship Management, CRM System Update. Councillor Manford, could you please introduce the report?
Sorry, Leader. Councillor Tom Gibson will be doing the report. Thank you.
Councillor Tom Gibson, can you please introduce your report.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to present an update on our new customer relationship management system and council website. This project is one of the most important steps we're taking to modernise how we serve our residents. It will make contacting the council quicker, simpler and more transparent, while also making our internal processes far more efficient. Over the past few months, strong progress has been made. The new website is well underway. We have moved to a modern, accessible platform used successfully by other councils, allowing us to develop faster and at lower cost. Our content has been fully reviewed and streamlined so that when residents visit, they'll find clear, up-to-date information that's easy to navigate. User testing is underway and we remain on track for a November 25 launch, giving residents a simple, mobile-friendly experience where they can complete tasks easily at any time of day. Alongside this, the new CRM system is transforming how we work behind the scenes. We've mapped the main service processes, such as mist bins, bulky waste and fly tipping, and are turning them into streamlined digital workflows that automatically route requests, send updates, and give residents visibility of progress without the need to chase. Staff will have a complete picture of every case, reducing duplication and speeding up response times. The early pilots are already showing how much time and effort can be saved, and that momentum will build steadily as more services come on board through 2025 and 26. I want to highlight the budget position briefly, because it is good news. Since the project was approved, we've refined the financial model and locked in actual contract costs. The overall result is better value for money than first projected. Ongoing support costs are lower than expected, some contingency has been released, and the timing of savings from channel shift and process efficiencies is clearer. In short, the council will deliver this transformation within the existing approved budget, and the forecast now shows a stronger financial return, with net savings expected from 27-28 onward. This means that, as well as improving services, the programme will help reduce costs for the council in the long term. For residents, this programme will mean faster answers, fewer forms and real-time updates on their requests, whether they're reporting an issue, making a payment or booking a service. For our teams, it means better data, less duplication and more time spent on the cases that matter most. It's a change that will make things smoother for everyone and strengthen trust between the council and the community. This is exactly the kind of transformation we should be proud to deliver, one that enhances resident experience, improves efficiency and offers genuine value for money. I ask Cabinet today to note the excellent progress made, endorse the continued rollout and recognise that this investment is already showing returns, both financially and in the quality of service we provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Members, are there any comments or questions? No comments or questions. Members, that's an item to be noted. Is that noted? Thank you very much, members. Agenda item 7, building safety cladding recommendations in Castle Point. Councillor Tim Corpsey.
Thank you, Chair. I bring to Cabinet today a report concerning cladding remediation in Castle Point. This follows the government's introduction of local remediation acceleration plans, or LRAPs, which aim to address fire safety risks in residential buildings, particularly those with unsafe cladding. These plans were developed in response to the Grenfell tragedy and the subsequent recognition of systemic failures in building safety regulation. The government's objectives are clear: fix buildings faster, identify all buildings over 11 metres with unsafe cladding, and support residents living in those buildings. The legislative framework underpinning this initiative includes the Building Safety Act 2022, the Fire Safety Act 2021 and associated regulations. Together these define what constitutes a higher risk or relevant building and set out the responsibilities for building owners and regulators. Under these definitions, a higher risk building is at least 18 metres in height or has 7 stories and contains 2 or more residential units. A relevant building is at least 11 metres or 5 stories high, contains 2 dwellings and is not leaseholder owned. Our officers have undertaken a thorough assessment of all tall residential buildings in Castle Point to determine whether any meet these criteria. The findings are reassuring. While we do have a small number of buildings approaching these thresholds, none qualify as a relevant building under the LRAP framework. Furthermore, Those that are taller use non-combustible materials such as brick and render, meaning they do not present the cladding risks that LRAP seeks to address. In short, Castle Point currently has no buildings requiring remediation under these plans. The recommendation before Cabinet today is therefore straightforward and to note the contents of this report and maintain awareness of the LRAP framework should circumstances change in the future. This is an important assurance for our residents. It demonstrates that we have acted proactively to review our building stock and that at present there is no risk requiring intervention. However, we remain vigilant and prepared to respond should new information come to light. Before I conclude, I am pleased to share a positive development. Castle Point Borough Council's Building Control Service has recently been accredited by the British Standards Institution, BSI, under ISO 9001 for its quality management system. This accreditation covers the provision of public sector building control and public protection services and is valid until June 2027. Why is this significant? ISO 9001 is an internationally recognised standard for quality management. It demonstrates that our building control service operates to rigorous standards of governance, consistency and continual improvement. This means residents and developers can have confidence that our processes are robust, transparent and focused on delivering safe, compliant buildings. This achievement reflects the professionalism of our team and reinforces our commitment to excellence in building safety. I thank the officers for their hard work in achieving this and commend this report to Cabinet. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gopsey. Members, are there any comments or questions? No? Then that is another report to be noted, members. Is that noted? Thank you very much. Agenda item 8, events development. Councillor Tom Gibson, please introduce this item.
Thank you, Leader. I'm very pleased to bring this report before Cabinet this evening. I believe it's one that marks a significant step forward in how we deliver and grow events across Castle Point. Over the last couple of years, we've seen the real value that community events bring, from the hugely popular fireworks display to fantastic tribute concerts and themed nights at our council-owned venues. These occasions bring people together, create pride in place, and generate a real sense of energy across our borough. We want to build on that success. This report proposes that we enter into a new and enhanced service level agreement with Colchester Amphora, which is owned by Colchester City Council. Through this partnership, we'll benefit from their proven expertise and event management experience, whilst retaining full control over our own programme and our own ambitions. Under the agreement, we'll guarantee at least 10 events a year at both Runnymede Hall and the Paddocks on Canvey, continue our annual fireworks display, and deliver at least one major outdoor festival in the first year. Over time, this will grow into a year-round calendar of entertainment, music, community days and family celebrations. A dedicated events officer will work directly with our recreation team, providing professional advice on planning, marketing and delivery. This partnership means that we can raise the bar on quality and creativity from day one, without the time or cost of building a new in-house structure. Importantly, all events will be subject to the highest safety standards and the full range of statutory checks and consultations. Every event will go through the Council's Safety Advisory Group, involving partners such as the Police, Fire and Rescue Service, Ambulance Service, Essex County Council and our own licensing and community safety teams. That means that every event will be properly planned, risk assessed and managed, ensuring safe, enjoyable experiences for everyone. The SLA represents value for money, fully funded within existing budgets and includes an annual review clause to ensure flexibility. It will also help us unlock further investment in our facilities, especially at the Paddocks, where we will look to explore upgrades to lighting, sound and seating to make it a first-class venue for future performances. Beyond the numbers, this is about community spirit, opportunity and local pride. It's about creating memories, supporting local businesses and positioning Castle Point as a place that celebrates together. This proposal aligns perfectly with our corporate plan, supporting healthier, safer communities and helping to restore our council to good health. It's ambitious, it's achievable, and it builds directly on what residents have told us they value most: events that bring people together and celebrate our borough. So tonight I'm asking Cabinet to 1. Authorise the Assistant Director for Recreation in consultation with myself to finalise and enter into the SLA with Colchester Amphora. And 2. Note the development of our new event strategy, which will guide and expand our cultural offer across Castle Point in the years ahead. This is a positive and forward-looking proposal that will help us deliver a stronger, more vibrant events programme for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Members, are there any comments or questions? No comments or questions? Okay, then, members, I'll move recommendation 1 set out in paragraph 3.1. Do I have a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that, Leader. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Councillor Gibson. Is that agreed, members? Thank you very much. Is recommendation 2 noted? Thank you, members. That concludes that item, which is a very good news item, by the way. Thank you, members. Agenda item 9, matters referred from the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Members, there are none. That concludes, members, the formal business for this evening. I declare the meeting closed at 7:26. Thank you very much and good evening.